This is Daniel Posney, and this is called Shifting Perspectives. And today I want to talk about this. It's sort of related to self-love, but it's about seeing yourself as the most important thing in the world, on the planet. And it kind of goes against what we've normally been taught, that we should see other people as more important, our kids as more important, the problems in the Middle East is more important, all those things. And I'm not saying that we should take anything away from that. It's just that when we see ourselves as the priority in our lives, above and beyond everything else, and then we take care of that, and then we see if we have something left to give to the world or to give it to other people. Normally we've got lots left, but to make sure that we see ourselves as the most important thing, again, which goes against what the media wants to tell you, what leaders want to tell you, that their topic, what they're talking about, is more important than your well-being, than your health, than your peace, and all that. But this really comes especially directed to the people that are going through some kind of illness, life-threatening illness, cancer, things like that. If you're still wondering what is the most important thing, it should be really clear that you and your life and your happiness is the most important thing. So, what if, in the most healthiest way, the most loving way, that you and your well being were the most important thing? That nothing got in the way of that. That when there was a conversation, when there was a video or a news topic or something that wanted to take, it's kind of, think about it, that kind of wants to slip in there and push your importance, your health and well-being out of first place, and wants to put it into first place ahead of you. So if I think of it like that, I say, okay, hold on a second, is this more important than my well-being? So that's why the first thing that I do in the morning is I make sure that I read or watch or do things for myself, meditation, yoga, qigong. And if I watch any videos or see kind of what's out there for me, I make sure that it's not, another video about some arrest or police brutality or whatever kind of thing, because my first step into this day, the most important thing is my happiness and the way that I'm directed into that in my life. So if I take that as the most important thing, then man, I can give everything to the world once I've taken care of that. I feel really good about myself, and I say, okay, now I can really give. But if I don't take myself as the most important thing, I'm kind of in a kind of a half-ass giving state where I'm hoping to fill myself up with my giving, and it's never really clear. It's never really authentic. So what if something did get in the way of your happiness and you just forgave yourself and just did something to improve it? Like maybe you're watching videos on Facebook, and then, what got slipped in there is some kind of a, eye-catching video about some negative thing, whatever that thing is. And you caught yourself watching it. Instead of going into guilt or shame or something like that, oh man, they did it. Facebook slipped that thing in there and I didn't even notice it. But you just forgave yourself and just balance that out with something else that's more positive. Like one of the practices that I've done when I was in my 3 days in the cave with just water and a drum and a yoga mat. Thank you, Kurt. Um, I would think about the worst thing that can happen with maybe a mountain lion or a snake or something. And when I thought about that, something like that is really easy to think about when you're out there in the boonies, no cell phone, there's no contact, and you're out there alone. It's easy to think about those things without any influence. And yet I still wanted to balance it out with some crazy idea that a mountain lion would snuggle up next to me and become my new best friend. So even though, both are kind of out there, ideas, I still wanted to balance them out. And I have the choice to do that. So also, what if you made no excuses to be happy? That, you know, how can you be happy where there's so much terrible things going on in the world? And I have a saying that really helps me, as I say, even though, even though I've got this going on, or even though that something just blew up, I'm going to choose to be happy. And at the same time, I'm going to have compassion, and my emotions are completely there with whatever's happening in the world, but I'm also going to choose to be happy, because that's really the best thing that I can do, is to be in my own happiness, not selfishly, not self-importance or anything like that, but just choosing to be happy with where I'm at right now. And it's kind of like, um, where I can see right now, what's in front of me right now is happiness. And I get stories that there's other things going on out in the world, and I want to have compassion and empathy for that. And where I'm at right now, this best place that I can be is in my own presence and in my own happiness. So, what if you became the most important thing in the world? Not self-important, not indignant, not like I'm gonna make it all, it's gonna be about me, damn it. I'm finally gonna get what it's not that kind of thing. It's more of a relaxed, enjoying the space that you're in right now and opening yourself up. So that kind of indignant, self-righteous, kind of angry at the world kind of thing is not really what I'm talking about. But it's really kind of saying, the best thing, the highest priority right now is me being happy, not what my mind is telling me, but what my heart is telling me. So it's kind of a tricky kind of thing to figure out what my mind wants as opposed to what my heart wants. And my mind is caught up in the thoughts of that. My mind is caught up into this validation, and it's kind of giving me justification to, you know, have a cocktail or smoke that joint or whatever the thing is, or watch that show that I know that's not good for me. And my heart goes into more feeling, okay, what could I just do nothing right now? Could I just sit in the sun? That's more the thing that I'm talking about, is making sure that I just be in the moment for my own benefit. So that you would be worthy of the highest concern and the greatest care. That's what I'm talking about. The highest concern and the greatest care. The same kind of love that you'd imagine you'd give yourself after this life, looking back at the incredible you doing the best that you could. So I have no problem thinking about death and what it might be like after this body. And I like to think that I look back at myself with this, and I've had this experience before where I look at myself with this really deep compassion and really loving this guy, this character, this guy that's doing these things in the world, that creates these videos and makes mistakes and says silly things sometimes, and that my soul, or my higher self, might be looking at me going, wow, he's unique. He does things, kind of different. And I like that. That's great. And he's doing the best he can in this crazy world. And that's the kind of awareness and perspective that I want to get to now, while I'm still in the body, is the same kind of perspective that I or some other outside the body perspective might look at myself, might look at Daniel with this, God, I wish he knew how much he's loved. I wish he knew how much that the world appreciates not only the things he does for the world, but the mistakes too, and the realizations that he gets from those. And it just kind of puts me in that reality that it would be outside of what my mind was telling me, more into this viewpoint. And I guess you'd call it um, God realization, that you might look through the eyes of God and see what that might look like, and look at yourself. So when there's nothing wrong, nothing right, no need for anything, just this awareness of uh, loving awareness and consciousness looking at you. And to get into that place now while you're still in the body, wow, that would be something. So that's what I'm promoting right now, is to make yourself that important, not self-importance, but in that importance of priority of wellness, health, concern, um, empathy, compassion, that kind of thing, to see yourself that way. And I guarantee you'll get everything that you ever need. And then you'll have so much inside of you that you could also give. But trying to do that without this piece is pretty tough. So it kind of reminds me of what one of my mentors, Michael Hamilton, said to me, and I've shared this so many times, but it's very impactful, and it's challenging too. What I'm about to share, because if we grow up thinking that we should be like Mother Teresa, or that we should say that our kids are the most important thing and that kind of thing, it really kind of it pulls at your heartstrings to say that you wouldn't do that. But I'm not proposing that you don't do that. I'm just saying ask yourself these questions. Do you love yourself in all ways more than anything or anyone? And that I don't mean to take away any love from your kids or your grandmother or God or Jesus or anything. I'm just saying, do you love yourself in all ways more than anything or anyone? And don't get caught up in the whole more than anything or anyone thing, because that's where the mind comes in and it wants to block that. It's almost like if you just say, yes, I want to do that. Yes, that's what I'm doing. And I didn't before. Then there's this something opens up with that. And it's kind of like you bypass your mind's obstacles to allow yourself to love yourself in all ways. Yeah, there's always going to be work on it. There's always going to be a challenge with your own mind. That's really the only challenge is your own mind. So be careful with that one. When your mind comes up with excuses or justification not to do something like this, the mind is the thing that you need to kind of overcome. And then the next question is, have you completely surrendered to your God self? And there's different ways of saying this, but it's just your higher self, your divine being, whatever way. But there's something beyond. I think Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said, he did a talk about the self will, that instead of being driven by the self will, it's being allowing yourself to be kind of respond, to move forward, to take action, to allow, do something greater than yourself, whatever that thing is. Call it your higher self or God, a creator, but something that naturally guides you with love instead of fear, instead of reaction. So I think that's all I got for today. I think that kind of sums it up. And I look forward to being with you next time, next week. Have a most beautiful, blessed week. Thank you. I love you. Bless you.